Hello, AU MBA students and prospective students who are interested in pursuing your MBA degree at Anderson University and all who are watching this video. My name is Shin, and I am an associate professor in economics at Anderson University. I teach economics at both the undergraduate and MBA levels at AU. I am privileged to give my mini lecture to you in this video. All of us are going through very tough times these days because of the COVID-19 crisis hit this country and the world. I pray for those who are suffering physically and mentally from this disease, and in particular for those who have had economic troubles and for those who have lost jobs since the outbreak of the COVID-19 crisis. The prolonged stay-at-home situation, self-quarantine, and physical distancing make us feel tired and exhausted, but there's no doubt that all of us will overcome this difficulty and get our everyday life back on track very soon. Alright, the title of my mini lecture is Using Macroeconomics to Diagnose Recessions. Coronavirus is a threat to our life these days, but what is more likely to ruin our life than coronavirus itself is the resulting economic recession. Therefore, I thought it would be useful for you to know how to use macroeconomics and macroeconomic data to understand what's going on in our economy and to diagnose economic recessions. Many economists believe that the U.S. economy is going into a recession due to the COVID-19 crisis. Let's check out if this belief is correct. In order to do so, we need to study some important macroeconomic principles first, such as business cycles and macroeconomic indicators. Let's talk about the business cycle. The business cycle is defined as the short-term up and down fluctuation of output and other key macroeconomic indicators around the long-term trends. An economist's output, that is the amount of goods and services produced in the economy, shows an increasing trend in the long term but cyclically moves up and down in the short term. A business cycle goes through four major phases: expansion, peak, recession, and trough. Alright, an expansion is a period in which output is rising and other key economic indicators are improving. A peak is the end of an expansion at which output reaches the highest level in a business cycle. A recession is a period in which output is declining and other key economic indicators are worsening. And a trough is the end of a recession at which output bottoms out and is ready to rise again in a business cycle. Alright, let's look at the mini whiteboard covered by this awesome looking AU MBA t-shirt and let me uncover it. Alright, here we go. Alright, so as you can see, this is a diagram of output and how this one shows us how output changes with time, over time. So this blue line represents the long-term trend of output, and in the short term, the output moves up and down like this one, right? As you can see, this peak is the highest level of output, and then the trough is the lowest level of output. In an expansion, output rises like this one, and after hitting its peak, it goes down again. So during a recession, output goes down, heading to a trough. All right. So this one is a brief diagram of the business cycle. All right. So what is the main cause of a business cycle? A business cycle, a cycle of the up and down movement of output, is mainly caused by a sudden and unexpected aggregate demand AD shock that positively or negatively affects the economy. So what is the aggregate demand AD? It is the dollar value of the total demand for all final goods and services produced in an economy. So AD is measured as the sum of the dollar values of four AD components: consumption, investment, government spending, and net exports. Household consumption C is the amount of money spent by households on purchasing goods and services produced in an economy. Firms' investment I is the amount of money spent by firms on purchasing capital goods and services produced in an economy. Government spending is the amount of money spent by government on purchasing goods and services produced in an economy. Net exports are the amount of foreign money spent by foreign people on purchasing goods and services produced in an economy. Therefore, the aggregate demand in an economy is the total amount of money spent by people on purchasing goods and services produced in the economy. Alright? So let me show you the mathematical representation of this aggregate demand. Alright, so aggregate demand AD is the sum of consumption, investment, government spending, and net exports. So, if one or more of the AD components in an economy suddenly and unexpectedly decrease like this one, so for example, if consumption goes down and investment goes down, and in this case, the economy's output AD would decrease as well. Alright, so what is a recession as a phase of a business cycle? A recession is defined as a significant decline in economic activity spread across the economy lasting more than a few months to more than a year, normally visible in production, employment, real income, and the other indicators. Let me give an example of a U.S. recession. The worst economic recession in the U.S. history is the Great Depression, which is the longest and deepest recession in the 20th century, started from 1929 and lasted until the late 1930s. The Great Depression was mainly caused by the stock market crash of October 29, 1929, known as Black Tuesday, because of the bursting of the stock market bubble as a negative AD shock. The stock price plummeted and thus households lost a lot of income and firms lost a lot of profit. Therefore, they reduced consumption and investment significantly. As a result, real GDP fell over 25% and the unemployment rate reached 25% as well. Alright, let's talk about key macroeconomic indicators. Economists observe three key macroeconomic indicators to check out the situation of an economy's business cycle. The macroeconomic indicators are GDP, the unemployment rate, and the inflation rate. GDP, gross domestic product, measures the dollar value of total output produced within a specific area for a given period. So, for example, the 2020 US GDP is the dollar value of total output produced within the US for the year 2020. The unemployment rate measures how many percentage of people is unemployed in the labor force. GDP and the unemployment rate are linked and move in tandem in the opposite direction of each other. For example, when an economy is bad, GDP falls because total output decreases and thus more people lose their jobs. The inflation rate is the percentage change in the Consumer Price Index CPI from one period to the next. What is the CPI? It is the most widely used measure of the general price level in the US. If the price level goes up this year compared to the previous year, this year's inflation rate would be positive. And we economists say that in a stable and healthy economy, the annual inflation rate usually falls between 2% and 3%, and the Federal Reserve Bank's inflation target is 2%. Alright, let's go deeper into each macroeconomic indicator. So we need to know the concept of potential GDP. It is the highest possible level of GDP that an economy can potentially achieve. So, during an expansion, GDP rises rapidly and often exceeds potential GDP. Why does this happen? Producers increase output because the demand for goods and services by households, firms, and governments continuously rise. In particular, when an economy's actual GDP goes above its potential level, we can say that the economy overheats. On the contrary, during a recession, GDP falls rapidly and stays below potential GDP. So, when an economy is in a recession, it is not able to produce the sufficient amount of goods and services at its potential level. So, producers decrease output because the demand for goods and services by households, firms, and governments continuously fall. Now, we need to understand the concept of the natural rate of unemployment first. This rate is the lowest possible unemployment rate that an economy can naturally achieve. This rate cannot be zero because there is always 3% or 4% of voluntarily unemployed people between jobs. They are unemployed voluntarily and temporarily to seek a better job. Therefore, we say that a very healthy economy shows around 3% or 4% unemployment rate. So actually, right before the COVID-19 crisis became pandemic, the February 2020 unemployment rate in the US was historically low at 3.5%. During an expansion, the unemployment rate falls and approaches the natural rate of unemployment. In this case, producers hire more workers to produce more output. During a recession, however, the unemployment rate rises and stays far above the natural rate of unemployment because producers lay off workers to reduce their output. The Federal Reserve Bank's annual inflation target is 2%. During an expansion, the inflation rate is higher than its ideal target. Household, firms, and governments purchase more goods and services, thereby causing high inflation. During a recession, the inflation rate falls below its ideal target. Household, firms, and government purchase less goods and services, thereby causing low inflation. Alright, now it's time for us to use GDP, the unemployment rate, and the inflation rate to check out our economy situation, and in particular, if our economy is going into a recession these days. There is a simple rule of thumb to define a recession. Again, it is just a simple rule. There are many more complicated and sophisticated ways that professional economists use to define a recession, but this is beyond the scope of this mini lecture. Okay? Alright, so we can say that our economy is in a recession in terms of GDP if GDP growth is negative for 2 consecutive quarters. And we can also say that our economy is in a recession in terms of the unemployment rate if the rate jumps up by more than 0.5 percent point this quarter compared to the previous one. And we can say that our economy is in a recession in terms of the inflation rate if the rate is below the Federal Reserve Bank's target of 2%. Alright, so let me give you some facts about the US economy during the COVID-19 crisis. Let's look at GDP first. The estimated GDP in the first quarter 2020 will be announced by the Bureau of Economic Analysis on April 29, 2020. Let me hit this hyperlink to show you the website of this Bureau of Economic Analysis. Alright, as you can see, gross domestic product in the first quarter 2020, estimated value of this one will be announced this date. Instead, we have a couple of quarterly GDP estimates for the first and the second quarters of 2020. For example, Morgan Stanley estimates that GDP in the first quarter would be negative 3.4% and GDP in the second quarter would be negative 38%. Wow. So, GDP would be negative for more than 2 consecutive quarters. the unemployment rate in March 2020 rose to 4.4% from 3% to 5% in February 2020 by 0.9 percent point. This is the largest over-the-month increase in the rate since 1975. In March 2020, the U.S. economy lost 701,000 jobs in the non-farm sectors. Let me hit this hyperlink to show you the data on the U.S. unemployment rate. If you look at this graph, the unemployment rate had been declining since 2010, right here, but just for this quarter, unemployment rate rose up to 4.4%. And also, if you look at this data table, the February 2020 unemployment rate was 3.5%, but in March, the unemployment rate went up to 4.4%. And unfortunately, the unemployment rate in April 2020 is estimated to be over 13%. All right, so the annual inflation rate in February 2020 was reduced to 2.3% from 2.5% in January 2020. The March rate will be released on April 10th, 2020. Let me hit this hyperlink to show you the website of the US CPI. Alright, so as you can see, right, and then the March 2020 CPI data are scheduled to be released on April 10th, 2020 at 8:30 a.m. And many economists predict that the overall rate in 2020 would be 1.9%, which is below the 2% target. In summary, therefore, based upon the released and estimated macroeconomic data on GDP, the unemployment rate, and the inflation rate, we can come to the conclusion that the U.S. economy is going into recession due to the COVID-19 crisis. The outbreak of COVID-19 serves as an unexpected negative AD shock that reduces consumption and investment. So the reason that the Trump government pushes for 1.2 trillion fiscal stimulus package is to boost consumption and investment, thereby getting out of this recession as soon as possible. Alright, this is the end of my mini lecture. Thank you for paying attention to me. Please stay healthy. We, Anderson University, Full School of Business, will be praying for your peace and success. Thank you.